Y2K. Huh. Y is year. And K, well, K is 1,000. What's the 2? 2, 2. Y2K, year 2000. I get it. Y2K. Huh.
Have you done anything to prepare for the year Y2K at all?
No, I haven't. Not at all.
I'm not taking care of it.
We're pretty much Y2K compliant here. We're not even on computer.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
I'm saving all my bank statements and whatnot, all the paperwork back up.
Now, is there anything in the store that could help me if I can't send email?
Email sensitive, you know. Email seems to be the first thing that goes.
In the last couple of weeks, I've started asking myself, should I do something to my computer at home?
I got quite a bit of response, but this just fits on any 5-gallon food.
Look at that. So what about your hardware? Are you worried about that at all?
I guess probably a little, but I won't worry about it.
It's about 10 years old. It's a dinosaur.
So what do you think might happen?
Nothing.
If by that you're assuming my BIOS will interpret the next century correctly. See, it's windowing that determines if this next year will be 1800, 1900, or 2000.
I think there is a lot of confusion.
When you write 99 representing the year, there is a 100-year range or window that usually spans 200 years.
Got soap.
So say our threshold level is set to 28. Our window is actually 1928 to 2027.
I hope my company is Y2K compliant.
As far as I know, they are. They all have little stickers, Y2K stickers.
A 2-digit shortcut greater than 28, say 34, will be interpreted as 1934. Weird, huh?
I mean, the government's not going to let this happen. I mean, that's what we pay them for, right?
I just assume in America we'll figure it out.
Oh, hi. Bill Nye the Science Guy here, and welcome to the Microsoft Year 2000 Guide for Home Computers.
Nice to see you.
Now, this video is designed to help consumers like you and me understand and prepare our home personal computers for the year 2000. Now, like you, I've heard a lot about Y2K. And after a while, whom do you really believe? So, I embarked on some research on Y2K, and I've gathered some well-respected experts to help walk us through getting our own lab computers ready for the next millennium. And I thought maybe you'd like to come along with me. See, scientists bring in other experts for a consultation, and today I've set up some informal meetings with a couple of real computer specialists. Preparing for Y2K? It's easy. Just 3 words. Hardware, software, and personal data.
You say data, I say data.
Wait, that's 4 words. But you get the idea. Those are the few words you'll need to remember as we focus on Y2K. I wanted to go back to the beginning and get a sense of where all this started. I asked Robert X. Cringely, a well-known and well-respected computer journalist, to fill me in. He's written computer columns in influential computer magazines, and you may also remember him from the PBS special, The Triumph of the Nerds. And since this problem started quite a few years ago, Bob went to the Computer Museum History Center at Moffett Field in California to set the stage. Bob, it's all yours.
Hi, Bob.
It's fitting that we're here at the Computer Museum History Center at the NASA Ames Research Center in Moffett Field, California. The beginnings of not just the Y2K problem, but computing in general can be traced to this big iron. It's when these machines were new that the problem began. In the 1940s and 50s, these early computers used punch cards. Those of you older than 40 will remember seeing these as a kid in school. There was limited space on these 40 and 80 column punch cards, and back then it made sense to represent the year on these cards with 2 digits. After all, the year 2000 was like way out there. In the 1960s, computer memory was very expensive. Conserving just 2 bytes per record in memory, the 1.9 of 1965, for example, allowed software developers to be more efficient and save millions of dollars for their companies. These programming practices continued because the turn of the century seemed far in the future. Many of these programs, particularly older or custom ones, must be assessed to determine their readiness for the year 2000. Another source of the problem is sociological, the everyday tendency for people to use two-digit shortcuts to indicate the calendar year. How many times when you are asked for your birth date do you write, say, April 24th, 1965? My guess is you're much more likely to write 4/24/65. As a result, many computer users have included two-digit date shortcuts, for example, 98 for 1998, throughout their documents and spreadsheets. This seemingly innocent and time-saving practice is another major cause of the year 2000 issue. So the year 2000 issue is actually a collection of different types of date handling practices that can affect computer systems, including personal computers, when the new century arrives. I wonder if these things can be programmed to play Pong.
Thanks, Bob. Let me get something out of the way right off. There is no one thing, no silver bullet that will fix the overall Y2K issue.
Was that really a silver bullet?
There just isn't. And when my computer specialists explain what the issues really are, I think you'll feel better. So with all that said, here's what my initial research has shown, and this is important. The way that your computer system will be affected by the year 2000 will depend not only on the equipment and software that you have, but what you do with your computer, how you use it, how you rely on it. If you only use your PC to play games or surf the internet, chances are you won't experience any year 2000 issues. On the other hand, if you use your PC for managing finances or storing date-sensitive information, you are much more likely to experience year 2000 issues. And now we're going to walk you through all that step by step. And at the end of this video, we'll list websites and phone numbers that will provide you with other helpful information in your quest to make your PC year 2000 ready.
Whatever you say, Bill.
The CD that you got when you rented this video.
What CD-ROM? I didn't get a CD-ROM.
Yeah, this one. You did get the CD-ROM, right? Don't you tell me you got it.
It's okay, Bill. I checked. They did get a CD-ROM. You can relax now.
Ah, good. On this CD-ROM, you'll find these same links and phone numbers, along with the Microsoft Year 2000 Product Analyzer. And I'll show you that in a minute. Also, throughout this video, I've asked an old friend of mine. Oh, hey, QT. There's some people here I'd like you to meet. See, this is Ms. Quick Tips. She's a computer legend who's right now in the middle of some mountain somewhere doing who knows what. It's all very hush-hush, whoosh-whoosh, that sort of thing. QT, can you even tell us where you are right now?
Oh, not yet, but you'll be reading about my research very soon.
QT is going to clue us in on some other aspects of the year 2000 issue, and also be answering some of your questions many of you have sent in. Ready for your first one, QT?
Fire away.
Okay. Denny Wright of Bothell, Washington writes, I keep hearing about this thing called regional settings. I've had friends forward me mail that looks like if I don't take care of the regional settings, my computer will not work. Can you explain?
Well, Denny, not to worry. Your computer won't stop working if you don't change the date display in your regional settings. Windows processes, stores, and calculates dates using 4 digits regardless of the setting. These are only for screen display. Microsoft recommends changing the short date format in regional settings via the Windows control panel to a 4-digit year. Making this change in regional settings will help other programs to display 4-digit years, thereby minimizing confusion about what century is intended. Now, to change your date settings, go to Start, Settings, Control Panel. Click on the Regional Settings icon. Go to the Date tab at the top of this box, and right here in the middle, you'll find the short date settings. Make sure that the year is represented by the YYYY. Click on Close, and you're all set. Easy, simple, and it'll avoid confusion later on.
4-digit dates.
Bill?
Remember that.
Thanks, QT. That's great information. Once again, there are 3 things to remember about your computer in the year 2000.
Hardware, software, data.
Hardware, software, and data. First, let's take a look at hardware. That's probably my first guest right now. John! Well, John, come into our fabulous interview area here.
Thank you, Bill.
Have a seat. I will do the same.
Take it easy, Bill.
Hey everybody, this is John Archer, one of those experts I was telling you about, and he's from the PCY 2000 Alliance. In fact, you started the PCY 2000 Alliance, didn't you?
That's right, Bill.
Now, what do you guys do for us?
Well, the PCY 2000 Alliance is a group of computer companies involved in PC manufacturing. We're all working to address Y2K hardware concerns. We decided we needed to work together to best help users deal with possible year 2000 issues. I should tell you right up front that most of the major PC manufacturers are stating that their hardware is Y2K compliant.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Or they wouldn't say so.
Or we wouldn't say so. However, on some older PCs, there are a couple things that are at issue on the hardware side. They're easy to test, and they start with the RTC. Each personal computer keeps track of the time and date.
What's an RTC?
The real-time clock. I'm sure you've seen the time displayed in the lower right-hand corner of your Windows desktop.
Oh yeah, it's down, it's clicking away.
Exactly. Now the ability to tell the time and date relies on this battery-powered RTC, the real-time clock. The RTC keeps track of the time even when the PC is turned off or unplugged. And when you turn the computer on, the BIOS checks this information to see if it's correct.
BIOS, that's Basic Input-Output System, BIOS.
Think about the BIOS like this. When people fly an airplane, the pilot goes through a checklist to make sure all the systems of the airplane are functioning properly. The BIOS is similar in the PC, the difference being that you don't have to do anything. The BIOS goes through the computer checklist behind the scenes when you turn on your computer.
It's an autopilot.
Exactly. But like many of the year 2000 concerns, the potential issue with the BIOS is that it may not recognize the correct century when we pass New Year's Eve this year. Think of the BIOS like a wristwatch. Has to be reset for daylight savings time. You may have to reset your BIOS the same way you would your wristwatch. The only difference is you only have to do this every 100 years.
So instead of twice a year,
exactly.
Every 100 years.
Every 100 years. Yeah. And if your PC hardware does not know the correct century, that error could affect other aspects of your computer system. This is sometimes called a rollover problem.
The rollover problem.
Problem? What problem?
Simply put, the rollover problem is like an automobile odometer when it rolls over to 100,000 miles. Same principle with the computer rollover problem. You really don't have to understand all the subtleties. You just need to test your BIOS to make sure it will recognize the year 2000.
So, John, you're saying the hardware of your PC is the foundation on which everything else is based.
That's right, Bill. Your first priority is to find out if your computer's hardware is ready for the year 2000. If it isn't, you'll need to take some action to make it ready. And here's how you do it. Let's go to the PCY 2000 Alliance website. Well, Bill, as you can see, we have links on our website to most of the major hardware manufacturers. The resource CD also has links to this site so that you can look from this website for many of the manufacturers. Many provide a list of compliant PCs, and you can check to see if your computer is on the list right here. If there isn't a list, they may offer a simple test that you can run that will quickly tell you whether your computer will handle the date transition. If you don't see your computer's manufacturer listed, you may choose a third-party test or look for the company that supplied your system's BIOS. Let's simplify the process. Assume the system isn't listed, so we can click on the NSTL test tool. So go ahead and click download. The file is being sent to your computer over the internet. The software is going to test your system to see what the BIOS will do when the year 2000 date transition happens.
What fun. We're test running right now. Look, there's DOS coming up. Oh, it's big and fancy. Now, what happens if your computer doesn't pass this test?
Well, if the test were to indicate that the hardware is not year 2000 compliant, you may be given multiple options. They may include downloading a special software program to update the BIOS, or a program to monitor and change the date automatically. Or you may choose to manually reset your system's clock after the new year. But at least for your lab computer, it's Y2K ready. It passed.
Ah, boy, now I feel a lot better. Hey, John, thanks for coming down here and showing us all this stuff.
Not at all, Bill. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, sir.
Bye, John.
I wonder what QT is up to. Hey, QT, you ready for your next question? Ah, good. This one comes from Bob Snyder of Poughkeepsie, New York. Bob writes, I've heard that the year 2000 issue is a virus or caused by a virus. Will virus detection software take care of this? What about this whole virus deal? Is there any truth to it?
No, Bill. Year 2000 issues are not caused by or related to a virus. Anyway, This is important because you may read or hear news of virus-related issues that are directed at the year 2000, but the real problem with the year 2000 has absolutely nothing to do with the virus. The Y2K issues mainly stem from the decades-long practice of using 2 digits to represent years, a practice that makes the computer try to figure out what century we're in. But, and this is equally important, there will be viruses floating around that may use the year 2000 as their springboard for getting into your computer. These viruses can infect your computer in a number of ways. For instance, a virus can take on many forms, such as email claiming to be a Y2K fix for your software. There's even been a virus that claimed to be a Y2K countdown timer. So be extra vigilant and make sure you really trust that email before you open it. Some of these viruses may be nasty, causing data corruption of your private information. So the bottom line is viruses are dangerous to computers, and there may be viruses floating around, but they do not and did not cause the so-called Y2K problem. Okay?
Thanks, QT.
Nice going, QT.
So my lab hardware checked out fine. Up next, software. For that side of things, I've asked a real software guy to come by and help us out. There he is right now. Rich.
Bill, how are you?
Kaplan, come on in.
Thanks.
Please have a seat.
Thank you.
These lovely chairs.
Boy, that was fast.
Hey everybody, this is Rich Kaplan, the director of all things Y2K at Microsoft. Hey, it's good to have you here.
Thanks, delighted to be here.
Now, what's a typical Y2K day like at Microsoft?
Well, I'm responsible for making sure that the Microsoft software and our customers are ready for the year 2000.
Ready. You know, John Archer was here a little while ago, and he helped me get through my hardware.
Good.
Which, by the way, checked out with flying colors.
That's very good.
But now we got to do the software, right? So can you walk us through that? And of course, you know, being the computer expert that I am, I'm just very familiar with software. Of course I am.
I know you are.
But can you describe software in general?
I will. In general, software consists of a series of instructions for the computer. And there's really 2 main parts: the computer software, the operating system, which makes the workings of the computer work, right? And then there's software programs or applications that perform specific tasks.
So that's, okay, so the word application means stuff that's not in the operating system. It's other kinds of software. You know, I've often wondered. Seriously.
Yeah, that's actually the task-based stuff, like a word processor or a spreadsheet. So the operating system makes the guts work. Operating systems, for example, are Windows 98, Windows 95, Windows NT.
Big fan.
Good, good. The Mac OS, Unix. Those are all different operating systems.
And they control the central processor.
They control the central processor, they control the memory, the hard disk, the modems, the mouse.
But when you get a new piece of software, that's not what you're getting in general.
No, well, no, not in general. I mean, sometimes you can get those things, but the operating system is really the foundation that all those other things sit on top of.
So, what do I do?
Well,
I got my computer, I got the software in there, the operating system's in there. Now what happens?
Well, there's a couple things you have to think of. First of all, when you got your computer, many of the things were pre-installed when you bought it, purchased in a box at a software retailer, or even downloaded from the internet.
Oh, I love that. It's big fun. Love downloading.
It is. A lot of downloading going on. Anyway, in terms of year 2000 readiness, no matter where the software comes from, you want to consider testing all the software programs that are critical to you, particularly if those programs use dates.
Well, otherwise, if you don't test some of them, you're going to get burned later, right? I mean, I want to test them all. I want to test them all, Rich.
Right. But the most important ones are the ones that you use that have dates in them. Now, you might also have software programs that were custom developed just for your business. Let's say you were a dentist and that you were scheduling patients, or you're a school that has a custom grading application.
Or if I had some keeping track of money, what do you call it, this purchasing software.
Absolutely, that uses dates. Well, that custom software program may be susceptible to year 2000 issues as well, and they'll need consideration. So you should contact the companies or persons who develop the software for you and ask them how to help you prepare for Y2K issues with that custom software.
Hey, thanks, Rich. Before we leave the software category, let's take a look at what goes into year 2000 testing at Microsoft. Caitlin, roll that tape.
One of the first things we did was to establish a compliance statement and a test criteria. That compliance statement essentially set the goal that our products not cause problems across the transition to the year 2000. It's important to note that any issue found in our testing is posted to the Microsoft Year 2000 website. We tested about 3,500 of our products in each of their languages, ranging from DOS 5 to Office 2000. Today, about 97% of those products are compliant with the recommended actions taken. This is the single largest testing effort ever undertaken at Microsoft.
I'm the test manager who coordinated the Consumer Windows Division team to make Windows 95 and Windows 98 Y2K compliant in all 29 languages. We utilize hundreds of testers and developers worldwide using hundreds of machines with different software and hardware configurations to test Windows 95 and Windows 98 for Y2K compliancy.
I've been coordinating Year 2000 testing of Microsoft Office family of products using nearly 100 engineers on 3 continents. We performed comprehensive date testing across products starting with Microsoft Office 4, which includes Word for Windows 6 and Excel 4, up through our current generation of Office 2000 products. We tested the use of a wide range of carefully selected dates, both in data, like a class graduation date or dad's birthday, and by setting the computer date forward to simulate running the programs in the future. Every program behavior that we thought could be confusing was documented.
All of our test information and resources are available at the Microsoft Year 2000 website at www.microsoft.com/Y2K. If you don't have internet access, just dial 888-MSFT-Y2K to receive a subscription to the Year 2000 resource CD with all of the same information.
Thanks, Mark. Time for another question for QT. This one comes from Sally Webster of Nashville, Tennessee.
Hi, Sally.
And Sally wants to know, how do I download software updates to my computer over the internet?
Well, a software update is a program available on certain websites that you download to your hard drive for installation. To download just means to transfer the program to your computer system from where it's stored on the web. It's also important to save the downloaded update to a convenient, specific place on your hard drive. When you're ready to download an update, follow these steps. Click its underlined download link on the web page. If you get a message asking whether you would like to open the file or save it, choose to save the file. When the dialog box labeled Download or Save As appears, look for the field called Save In or Destination. This field determines where your file will be saved on your hard drive. Then you can go to where this file is stored, double-click on the icon, and it'll walk you through the installation process. And that's all there is to it.
Nice, QT.
Back to you, Bill.
Thanks, QT. Now let's take a look at your personal data files. And for that, let's go back and chat with Rich some more.
Take it easy, Bill.
Hi. It's time to talk about data files. Now, aren't data files part of software?
Well, not really. Software is the tool that allows you to create data files. Think of it this way. Think of data files as just like you would writing on a piece of paper, right? It's the information you put on the paper. A data file is something you create, like a letter to your mom, or a budget, or your checkbook information, or maybe even a database of your friends' birthdays.
Important.
Don't miss those birthdays. But an issue is that the data files that you create or use may or may not be ready for the year 2000. So let's play a little game, and hopefully people will see what I mean. Okay, so Bill, what event happened on 1/8/35?
8th of January, 1935.
I'm all shook up.
Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley's birthday.
Yeah, actually, you're right. But you know what? There's a more important date to me. More important to me, it's the last payment date on the mortgage on my house, January 8th, 2035.
Did not see that one coming.
Yeah,
that's important.
Different century, completely different century.
I get it.
Okay.
I can play this game.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah.
12/20/79.
Use the force.
12/20/79.
No, I got it. Star Wars was in theaters in December 20th, 1979.
I'm sure you're right. That's got to be true. But I was going for 1879 when Thomas Edison introduced the world to the light bulb.
Oh, you are right.
So it's a big deal.
You are right. So, what you see, though, is that using 2-digit dates to signify the year really leaves the whole thing up for interpretation.
Indeed it does. So when should you be concerned? I mean, what files are important that way and what files aren't?
Well, it's really important to fix any files that use dates that will be involved in some type of calculation. Right? So, for example, a spreadsheet or a database file or any file where a specific date triggers something to happen.
Oh, like if you had a letter that you'd written in this century,
Yeah.
and you went back and noticed that the date only had 2 digits, you could tell, oh yeah, I remember I wrote that.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be a big deal, right?
Yeah,
It was
whereas
just in
if
a letter.
you had a checkbook or something, your files like that, that would be very important.
Like, yeah, and it was paying your mortgage, and it did it automatically, right? And because you didn't put in which century, it never paid it anymore.
Yeah, that would be bad. I get it.
So as a rule of thumb, it's always best to use 4-digit years in all the files that are important to you or that are important to others. In fact, every time you use 2-digit dates, a PC has to guess which century you mean. And there's many risks can be eliminated just by typing in all 4 digits.
4-digit dates.
Fabulous safety tip.
Thank you.
Hey, Bill.
Bill. Whoa, Bill.
Isn't it time for me to answer another question yet?
Excuse me, that's QT. You know, she's very excited to be doing this. Hang on. Hang on. Okay, QT. Oh, by the way, thanks for coming. It's been fun.
It really has been fun, thanks.
Well, here's your last question, and this one comes from Jenny Peabody of Washington, D.C. And she writes, I use Excel for managing much of my business, and I have older Excel files that have valuable data on them. How can I make sure my old Excel files will be okay?
This one's easy. Microsoft has provided some terrific wizards to use. The Date Fix Wizard, the Date Migration Wizard, and the Date Watch Wizard. Now, to download these, go to the Microsoft Y2K website and go to the Home Computer section. Then, click over here on Quick Tips where you'll find the link for the wizards. Download them to your computer and run the wizards. These wizards convert 2-digit dates to 4-digit dates in your Excel files. Easy.
Thanks. Good luck on your research. So getting ready for the year 2000 means that you will need to consider all the parts of your computer. Its hardware, software, and data files. So now what? Oh, let's ask Rich. Rich, careful with those. They're not really balanced for throwing.
Oh, you see me play golf?
Well, I've seen enough. But seriously, what do you have to test software?
I have something. I want to show it to you. So this is the Y2K resource CD from Microsoft.
I get it.
And on there, it has all the information that's on our website. It has what we call the product analyzer that I'm going to drill a little into.
Those are software products.
Software products, absolutely. It has updates for the most popular things like Windows and Office. And so let's take a look at the product analyzer. It's the thing that's going to look at your software. We said hardware, software, data. It's going to look at your software and tell you if it's Y2K ready.
The second of the triple threat.
There you go. So I say, it asks if you want to install it. I say yes.
Sure we do.
And that quickly it installs the software.
Well,
and
that is quick.
That's all you have to do to install it. Now to run it, you go to Start, Programs, and it's the last thing installed, so it's all the way at the bottom here, the Microsoft Year 2000 Product Analyzer. And
Click it.
I click on it. It says, Welcome to the Product Analyzer. I select the defaults, and then I just click through here. It tells me a little bit of information, and now it's going out on my PC and checking the Microsoft software applications to see if they're Y2K ready.
26 programs found, 26 programs that match the product compliance database.
That's it. And when you hit finish, it prints out a report for you, and it tells you the status.
When you say prints, it's here. I could print it if I wanted.
Yeah, you could print it to your printer, sure, or it just prints it on the screen for you.
Aha. Okay, now, Rich, what if I have some software that's not Microsoft software?
You know what? All the vendors have done a great job of making information and updates available for lots of software applications. So go to the web and check out the websites for those software manufacturers.
Okay. So, Rich, one more thing. Can you walk me through the Microsoft Y2K website?
Sure, absolutely. On the website or via the CD, there's something called the Year 2000 Guide for Home Computers. And when you go there, it tells you about the things that we talked about today.
Hardware. Software. Data.
And data. And it walks you through what you need to do to be Y2K ready.
It's not that hard.
It isn't.
Hey, Rich, you want to get a milkshake? Banana milkshake?
I love banana milkshake.
Okay, well, let me say goodbye to the folks.
Okay.
I'll be right with you.
Cool.
I prefer chocolate.
Well, that's our video. Thanks for watching. Before we go, I'd like to emphasize a few things. First of all, make sure you check out your computer's hardware, software, and data.
There's that word again.
Then there truly is no great big, no silver bullet solution to these Y2K issues. Now, after you've made your PC ready for the year 2000, make sure that any new programs you install are ready as well. Otherwise, you're right back where you started. Now, stay informed. See, new information about the year 2000 is being announced every day. Therefore, you should continually visit your manufacturer's year 2000 website to ensure that you are receiving the very latest information. Make a conscious effort to always use 4-digit years instead of the old-style 2-digit years. And remember, finally, viruses are not the cause of Y2K issues. But it's always a good idea to use virus detection software anyway, because you know what? Because there's hackers out there, and they want to get into your machine and mess with you. And the year 2000 is the perfect time for them to do it, but you're not going to let them, are you? No, because you're going to use your virus detection software. You're going to stop them in their tracks.
Whoa, take it easy, Bill.
Excuse me. Now, we hope this video has provided you with some helpful information. Good luck with your home or small business personal computer, and I look forward to seeing you in the next millennium! Rich.
Yeah?
You want to get that milkshake?
I'm pretty busy.
They come in the metal canisters. If you don't want one, it's okay.
No, I'm with you.
No, don't worry about me.
No, I'm with you.
No, that's good.
No, I loved it.
They're
Bill,
very good.
Rich, wait for me.
I mean, the worst that can happen. I mean,
Yeah.
they probably have the web.
No,
They have the web there.
no.
You know, it's a cool diner.
No, we should go there.